Have you ever stopped to wonder what really makes an athlete a legend? It's not always just the wins or, the raw talent.
No, you're right. Sometimes it's something else. That personality, maybe. A kind of brilliance mixed with, well, unpredictability.
Exactly. That spark that just grabs you. And today, we're diving deep into a story just like that. You, our listener, sent over a whole stack of fascinating sources about Gold Ship.
An amazing Japanese racehorse.
Yeah. So our mission, like always, is to wade through all this great material you gave us and pull out the key nuggets, the really important stuff about his journey.
Yeah, the goal here is to really get the essence of Gold Ship's career. I mean, from this raw talent, maybe slightly awkward start, right up to being a household name in racing.
We'll look at the big moments, the challenges, and really try to understand why he stands out so much.
Absolutely. And why that personality is just as much a part of his legacy as the wins.
And the wins were impressive. His record shows 13 wins, and 6 of those were GI races. That's the absolute top tier in horse racing.
Huge wins, but like you said, the record, it doesn't tell the whole story, does it?
Not even close. It's those dramatic, sometimes baffling moments that really cemented his legend.
So let's start right at the beginning. His peculiar beginnings, you could call them. Born March 6, 2009, up in Hokkaido.
Okay.
And what jumps out from the sources right away is his breeding. His mother, Point Flag, was quite large, over 500 kilos, and had some leg issues.
Right.
So the breeder paired her with Stay Gold, a smaller stallion. The idea was, maybe get a more manageable foal.
Makes sense.
Except a Gold Ship arrived bigger than expected, right from birth, defying the plan.
Huh. It's like he was saying, nope, doing it my way, already setting the stage.
Pretty much. And then, almost immediately, this huge external challenge hits. His first training farm.
Yoshizawa stable?
Yeah, the Fukushima branch. It got badly damaged in the Great East Japan earthquake. March 11th, 2011. He just turned 2.
Wow. So think about that. You're just starting out trying to find your footing, and your training facility is hit by a massive natural disaster.
It forced him to evacuate, move multiple times. It was chaos before he finally landed at Shugai Naosuke's stable.
That kind of disruption so early on, it almost feels symbolic, doesn't it? Hinting at the unpredictable ride to come.
It really does. It suggests a certain resilience was baked in early. Interestingly, another future GI winner, just away, was his stablemate there during that time.
So maybe something about overcoming that adversity together. Forged in fire, sort of.
Could be. It certainly didn't seem to slow him down for long. Which brings us to his ascent, his 2- and 3-year-old seasons.
Okay, so how did he start off on the track?
Well, the sources say he debuted July 9th, 2011 at Hakodate, won his first race coming from the back, typical Gold Ship style already emerging.
And set a record.
A 2-year-old horse record, yeah. Finished that year with 2 wins from 4 starts, plus 2 seconds in big races. Showed promise right away.
So the talent was clearly there.
Oh, yeah. Then 2012 hits, that was his breakout year. Started with the Kyoto News Cup, his first major win.
And a big deal for his team too, right?
Huge. First major win for trainer Shugai in his 4th year. And a comeback win for jockey Hiroyuki Uchida after a really bad injury. So lots of emotion around that one.
Okay, then the classics, the Satsuki show. This is where things get really interesting, isn't it?
This is pure Gold Ship. Heavy rain, the inside track is torn up, everyone's avoiding it.
Standard procedure, you'd think.
Right. But Uchida, the jockey, makes this incredibly bold call, takes Gold Ship from way back, and drives him right up that chewed-up inside rail.
No way. Seriously?
Seriously. And he wins by 2.5 lengths. His first GI. It was just audacious. It showed right then this horse and rider combo could defy logic.
That's amazing. It's not just speed, it's tactics, bravery, maybe a bit of madness.
Maybe. It certainly announced his arrival, though the next race, the Tokyo Yushun, the Derby, a bit of a blip, finished 5th, first time he didn't win or place 2nd.
Okay, so not invincible, but he bounced back.
Oh, yeah. The Kakuka Show, the final classic. He was the heavy favorite, partly because some main rivals were out, and he just dominated, won easily, became only the 8th horse ever to win the Satsuki Show and Kakuka Show double. First one in 12 years.
Wow. Double crown winner.
And he wasn't done for the year. The Arima Kinen, the big year-end race.
Another big stage. How'd he do?
Typical Gold Ship starts slow out of the gate, but then in the straight, he just unleashed this massive run on the outside. Powerful stuff, won by 1.5 lengths.
Incredible. And he was a gray horse, right? Was that significant?
It was. Only the 2nd gray horse to win the Arima Kinen since the legendary Oguru Cap back in 1990. Added to the mystique, you know.
Definitely. So, end of 2012, he's not just good, he's a superstar. Multiple GIs known for these thrilling finishes.
Unanimously voted best 3-year-old colt.
Yeah, he was a phenomenon.
So what happens next? Did he maintain that dominance?
Well, his 4- and 5-year-old seasons, 2013 and 2014, were more of a roller coaster, which honestly just made his story even better.
He developed this incredible record at one specific track, Hanshin Racecourse. Won 6 out of 8 races there. They started calling him the Hanshin expert.
Why Hanshin specifically?
It has a long, tough finishing straight, really suited his come-from-behind style, that late burst of speed he had. He just seemed to thrive there.
Gotcha. So Hanshin was his turf.
Pretty much. Spring 2013 started well. Won the Hanshin Daishoten, naturally, and then another GI, the Takarazuka Kinen. Beat some really top horses like Gentle Donna.
So still at the top of his game.
For a while. But then autumn came, and things got tricky. The Japan Cup, he finished 15th.
15th. Wow, that's a shock. His first really bad finish, right?
Yeah, first double-digit finish, first time completely off the board. It was a huge setback. Led to serious talks about, okay, what do we do now? Change jockeys, try equipment changes.
Like blinkers?
Exactly. They decided to try blinkers for his next race, the Arima Kinen. Blinkers are meant to help a horse focus, limit their field of vision.
So how did that go? Did it help?
Well, he ran much better. Finished 3rd. It was a memorable race, actually, against Orfev, another legend who was retiring after that race. So a respectable finish with the blinkers on for the first time.
Okay, so a bit of a recovery. What about 2014?
Started strong again. Won the Hanshin Daishoten for the 2nd year running. That was his 10th career win.
Back to his winning ways at Hanshin.
Yep. Though even in that win, there were hints of his temperament. Notes say he showed unusual signs of wanting to go at the front, which wasn't really his style. He was eager, maybe a bit headstrong.
Always keeping things interesting.
Always. Then came the Tenno Shouty. Spring. Another dramatic moment. He actually went into the starting gate calmly, which was sometimes an issue for him.
Uh-oh, I sense a butt coming.
But then, right before the start, he just reared up in the gate. Roared, apparently. Got off to a terrible start because of it. Finished 7th.
Oh, man. Just when you think he's settled.
Exactly. They found out later he'd pulled a muscle in his neck and shoulder area during that gate episode. Nothing too serious, luckily.
Still underscores that unpredictability.
Absolutely. Yeah. But then, incredibly, his very next race was the Takarazuka Kinen.
And he won it again.
For the 2nd consecutive year. A really rare feat. It just showed his resilience, his class. That win really cemented his status again.
And set him up for something bigger, right? The international challenge.
That's right. The Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe in France. Big ambition. He traveled over with his stablemates just away in Harpstar.
High hopes, I bet. How was the preparation?
Reports said training went smoothly. Everyone was buzzing, thinking maybe, just maybe, he could pull it off on the world stage.
The Arc. That's the ultimate prize, isn't it?
It really is. But it turned out to be a huge disappointment.
Oh, no. What happened?
Despite the good training, the race itself, well, it was tough. Different track, different starting procedures, maybe the pressure. He had his usual slow start and just never got into it. Finished 14th.
Ouch. That's rough, yeah.
Trainer Shugai basically said, the world isn't easy. Summed it up well. His owner even hinted they might try again someday.
So what does that arc failure tell us?
I think it really highlights just how incredibly difficult it is to win at that level internationally, even for a horse as brilliant and, frankly, unique as Goldship. Maybe that adaptability to different environments is its own kind of talent.
A good point. So that brings us to his final year, 2015, his 6-year-old season. How did he cap things off?
In spectacular fashion, mostly. He started by winning the Hanshin Daishoten again.
Wait, that's 3 times in a row.
3 consecutive years, he made history. First horse since the grading system started to win the same major race, 3 years running as the favorite each time.
That's incredible consistency.
Yeah.
Especially at his favorite track. The Hanshin expert strikes again.
Truly remarkable. It was his 10th major race win overall. Then he finally won the Tenno Show, Spring, on his 3rd try.
Ah, redemption.
Yeah.
It's his 6th GI win, right?
6th and final GI, yeah. A huge victory, especially given his previous struggles in that race.
But knowing Goldship, I bet the lead-up wasn't straightforward.
You bet correctly. Pure Goldship drama. He refused to enter the starting gate, delayed the start by 4 whole minutes. Chaos.
Oh my goodness. Again.
It forced officials to re-examine his gate training procedures afterwards. But then, almost like he was making a point, he passed the retest on the very first try.
It's like he just wanted everyone to know who was boss, on his terms. I'll go in when I'm ready.
Exactly. But that tendency, that spirited behavior, it led to maybe his most infamous moment later that year, the Takarazuka Kinen.
What happened there? He was going for 3 in a row in that one too, wasn't he?
He was. An unprecedented third consecutive win was on the line. But at the gate, he just lost it. A horse next to him acted up, and Gold Ship reacted, reared right up.
Oh, no, not again.
Yep. Stood there as the gates opened, left way, way behind, finished a disastrous 15th.
Wow. So on the verge of history, and his personality just took over.
It really defined his narrative, didn't it? That brilliant talent, but always that spark, that unpredictability that could sabotage him on the biggest stage. Another gate re-examination followed, of course.
Almost like the starting gate was his nemesis.
Or just couldn't contain him. Shortly after that race, they announced his retirement. He'd become a stallion in 2016.
So how did his final races go?
He ran 2 more times. The Japan Cup finished 10th, and his final race, the Arima Kinen, he finished 8th. They ran him without the blinkers or shadow rolls for those last 2.
And his retirement. Was it fitting?
Oh, yeah. They had a big ceremony at Nakayama Racecourse. His trainer, his main jockeys, Uchida, Yokoyama, Iwata, they were all there. A real celebration of a unique, unforgettable career.
So let's try to wrap this up. What are the key takeaways from Gold Ship's wild ride?
Well, first, undeniable talent. Immense ability, especially those come from behind surges. And that special connection with Hanshin Racecourse, the Hanshin Expert label, was well-earned.
Absolutely. But you can't talk about him without talking about that personality, right?
Unpredictable.
Quirky, sometimes leading to those slow starts or gate meltdowns.
Exactly. But those quirks are part of the legend. They made him captivating, frustrating, but ultimately unforgettable. Fans loved him for it, in a way.
Yeah, you don't just remember the wins, you remember the story.
And the achievements were historic. Multiple consecutive wins in major races, 6 GIs overall. He secured his place among the greats of Japanese racing.
And that arc attempt, while it didn't work out, it does tell us something important about the challenges of competing globally, even for the best.
Definitely. It adds context. So yeah, Gold Ship's story, it's more than just racing results. It's about resilience, maybe stubbornness, this incredible spirit, and a personality that just shone through. I think you, the listener, now have a real sense of what made him so special.
So maybe the final thought for everyone listening is this. Gold Ship shows us that champions aren't always perfect machines. They have flaws, quirks, bad days. Maybe true greatness isn't just about talent, but how that talent interacts with and is shaped by an undeniable, sometimes infuriating force of personality. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How much is the raw ability and how much is that untamable spirit?